Hello and welcome, and today I'm going to be playing some more Dragon Warriors. Before I get started, I need to add 5.5 experience points to Sir Beautiful's character sheet for completing the Frogton adventure. So that will bring him up to 23 experience points. So close to that level up, but not quite there. So Beau's going to head off to Black Tor, hearing that there's trouble afoot there, and is in search of it currently. I'll put all the links for the Dragon Warriors content that I use in this video in the description box below. If you enjoy this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's just get into the Beast of Black Tor. Where do I begin? Okay, for this there are some special rules. There are rations. You may be instructed to eat a ration, which means to take a meal. When creating or equipping your character, each ration costs 1 florin and takes up 1 inventory slot. There's also exhaustion. You may be instructed to gain levels of exhaustion. Each level of exhaustion gains a -1 penalty to any attribute roll you make, such as looks, speed, stealth, and so forth. You'll be offered the chance to remove exhaustion when resting. Turn to 1. Black Tor is a place with an evil reputation, and your first glimpse of it, a distant shadow against the evening sky, does little to contradict that. Tall and jagged, it resembles nothing so much as the decaying ruin of some ancient fortress such as the elves might have built in times gone by. The lights of Hambleton, the village at the south edge of the moors, beckon you away from the glimpse of the Tor. And by the time you are arranging a room at the village's only inn, the sun is set and the moors, Tor and all, have vanished into the night. You've come to Hamilton following a rumor of a beast coming down from the Tor and terrorizing the inhabitants of the moor. A few choice questions around the inn confirms that the rumors are true, but the beast is yet to come as far as Hamilton. It is Brengate, a moorland village from which the whispers come. You decide to get some rest and head to Brengate tomorrow. Turn to 103. And 103 will take me... The village of Hambleton sits on the wrong side of the river from the moors, or the right side depending on how you look at it. By day, the Black Tor is less distinct, no more than a washed out blue smudge against the wide blue sky, but your eyes still seek it. A narrow wooden bridge, barely wide enough for a cart, crosses the river to the Brengate track. That is where the rumors of the monster will lead you, but there is time to spend in Hamilton first if you like. There isn't a lot in Hambleton, but you can visit the market, church, or tavern if you wish. When you're ready to leave the village for the moor, turn to 97. Alternatively, you can give up the entire quest and flee. I'm gonna snoop around Hambleton. Head to the... I'm gonna go to the church, because Frogton had interesting stuff happen in the church, so I'm gonna go to the church. The church is one of the few well-made buildings in the village, though much of the place is built from the same rough gray rock as the distinct Tor. Inside, you're greeted cautiously by Father Ailston, a portly, balding man with a worried face and ear whiskers that could catch moths. That's some ear whiskers. He's happy to tell you that the stories of the beast of the Black Tor is true, though it sounds as if he's basing his certainty on the rumors you heard. A great shaggy devil creature, armed and armored, come down from the ruins of the Tor to menace Brengate. I've heard the creature has demanded a tithe from the people, Ailston quavers, or it will unleash its devil armies upon them. And what of the Tor, you ask him? When I saw it from the road, I thought of a ruined keep. Is it some place of the fairies, perhaps? Not that I know of. It's true that the superstitious people of Brengate once left offerings for boggles or boggarts, or whatever. but I put a stop to such practices when I took over here. I did go up to the Tor once, many years back, but all I saw were rocks and firs and no sign of men or anything else. He appears to consider. Still, perhaps this will be of some aid to you. He leads you to the vestry and produces a small box, within which is a small crucifix of dark wood. This belonged to my predecessor. It is said it was brought back from the principalities. Perhaps from Ibrahim himself. If there truly is a devil knight on Black Tor, this may drive it away. When you're done, you can return to the center of town. I take this crucifix from the priest. I thank Ailston for his kindness and for the help he's provided me, and hopefully this will help me. So I'm going to return back to the center of town and go to the tavern. I bet the tavern patrons have something to say about the beast of Black Tor. Like any country tavern at any time of the day, this one's filled with sullen farmers and a few village idiots in characteristic motley. The farmers watch you nervously from behind their mustaches, but the idiots welcome you to their table when you bring them a beer. The beast of Black Tor, you ask? The chief idiot, who has a fox fur hat pulled close over his head, is only too pleased to regale you with gossip. He tells you that the beast is like a giant man, all over fur, and girded with armor like a knight. My cousin Bartle told me that it came down from the Tor with all the hounds of hell at its heels. An army of monsters and goblins and devil dogs. Black shucks and bogarts and hobgoblins. If you go up to Brengate now, you can ask him, but you don't get yourself caught up the moors when night falls, if you value your soul. You gain the keyword cousin. Okay. Keyword cousin. I'll write that down. I'm gonna add the crucifix to my character sheet. Oh my goodness. I'm a goofball. There. Now it's on the right page. My bad. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to town. Might as well investigate the market. Hambleton Market is little more than a collection of booths crowding the edges of the village green, and most of it is dedicated to the sale of wool, sheep, and turnips. Oh, a turnip town! Nevertheless, there are a few items that may be of interest to an adventurer like yourself. So the equipment rules are that a character can carry 10 items roughly equivalent to a weapon in size and weight. Okay. So I'm gonna buy 10 rations, and that should take probably 2 inventory slots, and a water skin. That will be 11 florins that I need to get rid of. I have 36, so I will have 25. Oops. 25 florins. And then I am going to return to the center of town, and I believe I'm ready to leave the village and head to the moor. Turn to 97. You're on the rough trail that runs up from Hambleton and across the moors to Brengate. A narrow reel runs alongside the track, tinkling musically as it runs across the gray stones. The sun is bright, but the wind from the moor is cold and sharp with the hint of rain on it. Hambleton is south of you, in the bottom of the valley below the moor, while Brengate lies somewhere out of sight to the north. Shading your eyes against the sun, you can make out the blue-gray mass of the Black Tor to the northwest. though there's a good deal of broken ground between you and it. If you want to strike out across the moorland, you can head for the Tor or past the rill toward a stand of trees where you think someone is working. Well, I'm gonna go where I think someone's working. Gain the keyword gap. You jump the stream and clamber up the further bank. Then head over to the stand of trees you saw from the track. As you get closer, you hear the sound of sticks breaking and soon come across an old man gathering tinder. A pair of wicker baskets stand nearby, one full and one half empty. "Good day," he hails you as you approach. "If you're looking for Hambleton, you're headed the wrong way." You tell the man that you're actually headed for Brengate, and he looks nervous. "I wouldn't go that way if you paid me. Not with the beast loosed upon the moors. I've heard it's a giant, as big as a cottage, with teeth like millstones." "I hope not," you tell him, "since I intend to try and defeat it." "Well, good luck to you then. But here's a thing that might help. My cousin's brother told me that he saw it up close one time, when it came to Brengate, and that he spotted a gap in it otherwise impenetrable armor. Just here above the left hip. If you're going to fight it, I'd try striking there." You thank the old man for his advice and head back to the road. 97. Okay, so strike just above the hip. Time to head to the Tor. The Tor is further than it looks. 3 hours of hard slog from the valley trail only brings you to the foothills, where the landscape is littered with what the moor folk call clitter. Interesting. Scattered rocks and stones that appear to provide plentiful shelter for a flock of ravens. Some way ahead, even further uphill, you can make out some sort of low-walled construction amongst the boulders, perhaps a sheepfold or defensive redoubt. If you wish to head that way, you'll need to take a rest first. If you have a water skin, you can take a drink. If not, you can eat a ration. If you have neither, you lose 1 HP to a minimum of 1 HP. Yeah, I'll take a rest. Sure, I'll take a drink from my water skin. When you're done, you can continue up the hill, or I'm going to continue up the hill. Take me to number 88. You continue the exhausting clamber up toward the walled compound, which is wedged between massive boulders like fragments of castle wall. The wall is probably no more than 4 feet tall, but the steepness of the ground makes it rear up above you. When you finally reach the structure, you're surprised to find nothing within, except a small patch of roughly level ground, thick with sedge grass. It's nothing but a sheepfold after all, though missing the wooden gate that would keep the sheep in. There is something more, however. Much of the ground is disturbed, and you think you can make out the imprint of booted feet. Someone has been using this place to make camp. You can wait here for nightfall, continue up the Tor, or head downhill toward Brengate. I'm going to continue up the Tor. Takes me to number 116. Gain the keyword sighting and read on. You clamber up the final stretch of slope toward the jutting gray rocks of Black Tor. The sky is bright, and as you look up, you're startled to see a figure high on the rocks looking down at you. It has the shape of a man, but unnaturally tall and spindly, long clawed arms. Fox ears, or are they horns, jut up from a shaggy head, and his body is bulky with jagged armor. It is the beast, and it radiates such an air of menace that you fumble and quail in your steps. Resist a strength 10 fright attack. So you roll 2d10 plus your rank. I got a 13 plus my rank, 14. So I didn't fail. Thank goodness. If you resist the fear, the figure vanishes, disappearing somewhere amongst the rocks. Turn to 28. Okay. Oh, it's getting spicy. You warily complete your climb, finding yourself amongst stacked pillars of granite, the gaps between them thick with loose scree and bracken. You are sure you saw the beast, but if it makes its home up here, you can't see where, and you feel terribly exposed. Do I have the tracking skill? I believe I do. Yes! I do have the tracking skill. Make a tracking check now. Roll double your perception or less on 1d20. I like how this is written. It tells me exactly what to roll on the skill checks. That's very nice. Tracking check now. My perception is 5. Roll double your perception or less. So double my perception is 10. I rolled an 8 on the dice. Sweet. If you pass the check, turn to 50 now. Trace mark on the rock alerts you to the location of a cave. Its low entrance screened by ferns. You push the hanging plants aside, revealing a narrow black gap. You can head inside or turn tail for Brengate. I light my lantern and I head inside. Number 46. I don't have the keyword inside, so this picture's cute. You duck inside the cave, trailing sprays of fern brushing against you. Inside you make what looks out... Oh my gosh. Inside you make out what looks like the remains of a campfire with something red beside it. Before you can make out exactly what, you're staggered by a blow. It's an ambush! 3 small creatures dressed in a motley of stolen clothes and scraps leap at your back, waving a club, a dagger, and a threshing flail. You get a brief impression of huge round eyes, needle fangs, and furry ears before they set upon you. You must fight the creatures all at once. Remember to split your defense between them. If you did not light a light source before entering, you have -2 attack. Okay, thank goodness. Finally, you are surprised. If you have the crucifix, you may brandish it at the creatures to give them -2 to their attack. Okay, so my defense is 7, and there's 3 of them, so I'm gonna have to... This is the first time I fought, like, actually multiple enemies at once. For combat, I roll... Oh, I am surprised. What happens if I'm surprised? So when I'm surprised, my attack is 0, but my defense and evasion are unimpaired. So basically, the goblins all get a free attack on me. Their attack is 13, my defense is 7. Yeah, they will need a 6 or lower to hit me. Likewise, their defense is also 7, so I will also need a 6 to hit them. But they are all 3 going to attack me. First one rolled a 19, that's gonna miss, thank goodness. The second one is going to also roll a 19, that is a weird coincidence. And the third one is going to roll a 13. So they miss on their surprise attacks on me, thank goodness. But they are going to get to go again. 14. Ooh, that one crit. So, no armor factor roll, and it will do 3 damage to me. I never updated my health, but my health will now be at 10. The third one is going to go now, and it is going to get a 5, so it will also hit the armor factor. Roll will be with a D8. Got a 7. I believe that's above my armor factor. Yes, mine's a 5. So it's going to hit me. I'm going to take another 3 damage. I am probably upset. I am going to retaliate. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to brandish that crucifix at the creatures, and it will give them -2 to their attack. That is going to take... It's going to take the place of my shield, unfortunately, so I no longer have a shield up. I'm just holding a crucifix out. I'm gonna attack one of them. Probably the one that just hit me, the third one. I rolled a 3. That's definitely above a 6, so my armor factor roll, my Morning Star is a d6, and they have an armor factor of 1. I rolled a 6, nice. Goblin number 1 is going to take 5 damage. Oh, goblin number 1 falls. So there are 2 goblins left. Okay, this fight's looking more doable. Now, goblin number 1 is gonna go, and its attack is gonna be 11, since I have that crucifix out. So it will need to roll a 4 or lower to hit me. 10. It misses. Second one gets a 7. It also misses. It's my turn now. I got a 13. I miss. 14 for the goblin number 1. 6 for goblin number 2. Thank goodness for that crucifix. They don't seem to like that. I rolled a 6. Which... is it equal to or lower? Equal to or lower? So I will hit goblin number 2 and attempt to get past the armor rating factor. Oh, I rolled the wrong die. Roll my d6. I got a 3. The armor factor on the goblin is 1. Goblin number 2 is going to fall by my hand, and I am going to prepare for goblin number 1's attack. Goblin number 1 got a 16. I rolled a 14 in response. Then it rolled a 19. I crit failed. Then it rolled a 5. I'm very, very thankful for that crucifix. I rolled a 16. This goblin and I are having a hard time. We may just stop for a second, stop our fight, look at each other, look at our weapons, laugh for a second, and then continue fighting. Goblin number 1 crits on me. So I am going to take the 3 damage from it. I am not feeling great. I'm looking very rough. But I crit on it! Oh! These dice are crazy. I rolled 2 19s earlier and now 2 1s in a row. But goblin number 1 is gonna fall. And then I'm gonna turn to number 6. Gain the keywords gap and inside. I already have the keyword gap. Breathlessly, you examine the creatures that attacked you. They are clearly some form of goblin, boggart, or fairy. You can't tell for sure. None are alike, each a random mixture of man and animal parts, armed and armored with human leftovers. They've left a certain pitiful appearance. You quickly search the rest of the cave. There's no sign of the beast, though it's clear that something has been sheltering here. The red object beside the fire turns out to be a piece of fox fur, still damp from the skinning and stinking of rancid fat. Searching the goblins, the most useful thing you find is a small dagger and a battered buckler. From somewhere outside comes the mournful screech of a hawk, and you shiver. It's high time you're out of this place. There's nothing more to find on the Tor, and more of the beast's followers might come at any time. You decide to descend to the valley while you still can. Turn to number 2. It's a long trek down to Brengate across the moors at night, a perfect recipe for falling and breaking your neck somewhere. Instead, you decide to make the best of it and camp. You must eat 1 ration. You must eat 1 ration. If you do eat, regain 1 health point. If you have a sheepskin, tent, or warm bedroll, or some magical means of keeping warm, you can regain an additional health point. If not, you lose a health point as above. So on my inventory, I have a backpack, a lantern. I don't have a bedroll. Okay, so I'm gonna lose the health point that I gained from eating. Still at 4 HP. You wake up damp with dew to find that the village is closer than you thought. Turn to 17. You arrive at the outskirts of Brengate, a squat and sullen village cowering in the shadow of Black Tor. A rough plain of gorse and turf surrounds the village, dotted with clumps of hardy black-faced sheep. From your vantage point, on the Hambleton Trail, you cannot see a single living person in either fields or the village itself. I think that that is a good place to end the Beast of Black Tor for the day. I will pick up next time on number 17 and decide if I want to saunter down the main road or slink my way in. Or turn back to Hambleton. Thank you for watching, listening, however you consume your media. I appreciate it. Don't forget to be nice to people. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.